8:19. Let's go into the KUM News Zoom room where we have the former two-term governor who's now the president and CEO of the Guam Visitors Bureau and the permitting czar for the government of Guam, former Governor Carl Gutierrez. Good morning.
Morning, Chris. How are you? Bree and Jason. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, man, there was a big press conference, and we just wanted to catch up with you on the reopening of tourism and the island on, I think, May 1st, right, Bree?
Yeah, if we achieve path to half.
Right.
There's a press conference today?
No, the press conference they had last week was all about
I know
that,
there's an event at the airport today.
Right. Oh, is that today?
Yeah.
Yes, that's officially today.
Right on. Go ahead, Gov.
Yeah, that's very important. That's the first step that the governor has given us $250,000 about 6 months ago to be able to take the customs form that you usually fill out on the plane before you get to Guam. Well, now we've got it digitized, and for those that have the iPhones can just do it very easily. But for those that are elderly, they could even have their children or their friends wherever they're at in the States or wherever to start filling it out 3 days before they leave. So when they get here, there's a touchless interaction with the customs people. So that's going to be unveiled today, and you'll love it. I hope you guys are there so you can see how the people that arrive are treated when they go up with their QR code to scan at the kiosk if they come in.
Yeah, that it actually was something that you had mentioned one of the first times you were on the show about getting this custom declaration digitized. So check that off your list.
Yeah, check it out. It's like the governor says, let's get results, and that's $250,000 worth of results, and this would be working very, very closely with public health as well, because the QR code, whatever we can do now with what Nico and the crew at GVB and Jerry Perez put together can be now shared amongst other kinds of products that you want coming out of that particular QR code.
So, so that's off the list, but what else is being done from today and May 1st as we prepare for the reopening of travel? Okay.
That's the key here, the governor wants, and the key, if you listen to her press conference, is that 50% of the adult people will get vaccinated by May 1st to be able to open. And so what we're doing at GVB with the Hotel Restaurant Association is taking all of these various surveys of employees first in the 2-month area and all the businesses so that we can start the vaccination process to get it up to 50%. We need to get to about 62,500. And once we get there, then the governor feels very comfortable that when you arrive May 1st, you don't go to quarantine. You go to your home if you're, for 5 days quarantine, I guess you can call that. But for the tourists, for example, they get the same treatment as the residents. You go to the hotel, and under 5 days, you don't need to be quarantined. But if you want to stay longer than that, then on the 6th day, you get tested. So nothing is going to be different between a tourist and a home resident coming in from. So hopefully that if you're going to leave from California or wherever, you get a 3-day test before a test before 3 days out, and you can go right through. That it's looking like we're going to meet that 50% because everybody now wants to be vaccinated. I think we're enticing them to please get vaccinated if you really want to, especially in the industry. If you really want to get opened up and start work in the restaurants, get beyond the 50% capacity and get to a full capacity, let's get our people vaccinated so that when they come into that particular restaurant, for example, you will see a grade that's given by public health. You've seen those ABC grades, and you usually see a nice A. And this time we're adding something else to it, which is the WTTC added to it so that you have been certified that you are safe and you followed all the various codes, which is in working with public health. We take our guidance from public health, And as a matter of fact, the entire airport has been certified since a long time ago when we worked this. So that will show the tourists that we are serious about making sure they're safe and they are safe.
I'm sorry, Gov. What is WTTC?
The World Tourism Trade Council, I think it's out of the UN and WHO, and they get you certified. So we've been certified since last year when we wanted to open up last June, and we just never got to activate it. But now it's for real. So we're moving forward, and I hope that people realize now that the governor was correct in moving forward with the way she had strategized to make sure that we follow the right protocols and get us down to this particular status right now, which is that we are at a below 2.2 CAR score, and that people are lining up for vaccinations. Now we've lowered it to the age 16 and above. So that's really a good sign that she has gotten her quota and more than her quota out of the CDC of those vaccinates.
Gov, can you talk a little bit about the support of the airlines and hotels for the May 1st reopening?
Well, you know, we're trying to make sure that our marketing people in their source country, for example, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, that we have been making sure that Guam does not get left out when they start, scheduling their aircrafts, for example. And so we're hopeful that that we get in front of the line, because everybody else is fighting us, and the governor promising to give us $20 million out of that $661 million gives us an opportunity to fight against the big boys, particularly Hawaii. In attracting tourists. We've got to be able to do our part in making sure that we get the word out to the people that are wanting to travel. Taiwan and Korea and Japan, they're itching to travel, and right now our group that we hired for Japan has realized that their selling point for Guam in their marketing efforts is that Guam is the safest United States destination. And they say that Guam is the safest place to visit. They're buying that because they know it's true. And so that we are continually trying to get the governor to press on the United States government to carve out Guam from being lumped into the entire continental United States. Because that is really a problem that we have with dealing with those countries, our source countries. They say, hey, you're part of the United States, and you have a U.S. passport, and this is going to have you being dealt as part of the United States. So that part is our selling point too. Carve us out. We are an enclave out here, 3 hours away. Easy to say that you're not the same as California, for example.
Right. Yeah, but you say we're the safest place, right? But do you foresee, or what are you hearing in terms of the lifting of this state of public health emergency, or is that going to matter when you market?
You mean CDC? You mean CDC having us in category 3?
No, well, that too, but the governor's declaration of a state of public health emergency.
Well, that's why we're moving at this 50% vaccination goal by May 1st. And then I'm sure that she's going to have a different kind of a protocol set out so that we get out of this emergency. We're not sure, but that's her goal, and we need to do our part. So all those people out there in the community, let's do our part. Let's get vaccinated, and so let's open up our island again the way we remember it a year and 3 months ago.
Gov, yeah, but on that CDC thing, right? So right now the CDC advisory says avoid all non-essential travel to the island.
Yes.
How are we gonna? And I'm pretty sure our source markets don't even check the CDC website, right? But with that kind of hanging over our head, what kind of conversation are you going to be involved with in talking to the CDC and saying, "Hey, yo, it's not that bad here"?
Well, my job, I think, is to play on those words. For example, there was one talk show host that came up with this idea that, you know, avoid all non-essential travel to Guam. That's number 3, right? So we're saying we'll take that word non-essential and use it and say that Guam is an essential travel. It's essential for you from Japan, Korea, Taiwan. You know, get your head straight. Come fly to Guam. You really need to come to Guam. It's only 3 hours away. It's essential that you travel to Guam. And so, that I don't know if you remember. You're too young, maybe both Bree and Chris. But back 20-some years ago, when we had that award-winning ad that somebody came up with and said, let's juxtapose Guam and Hawaii and have two families walking up the counter in Narita, one family flying to Guam, the other one flying to Hawaii. And they played on this family already in Guam, swimming and golfing, and they're still sitting in the plane heading to Hawaii at night and, uncomfortable.
That's funny.
And it really worked. It was an award-winning thing.
Let's go redo it then.
The what?
We should redo it then. Redo that. Bring it back.
So we're doing that, and we're redoing the essential travel to Guam. Right. You're 3 hours away for sanity's sake. Come to Guam. Fly to Guam. And especially for Taiwan, they love to see that blue and turquoise water. That was the number one thing that the takeaway for every tourist from Taiwan that comes here. And says, man, I can't believe it. That's all they talk about. So we're redoing. Derry and I are rethinking. Nadine Young Guerrero has been there almost 30 years. I mean, she's been the one that's been putting together these great ideas in marketing, and we're just rediscovering some of the things that made us very, very effective over the last 20-some years.
Gov, I had a question, and it's actually a follow-up to when we had JQ on, the executive manager over at the airport, and he was talking about trying to figure out and possibly implement some sort of a clinic at the airport for tourists when they're returning home to offer testing.
Well, I think that, I'll tell you, the testing is we just can't break through to trying to get testing into the airport. But we're doing other ways to try to do it. Because the governor doesn't want anybody tested at the airport for now. Maybe once you come in, there's a way that we can, and we're working it through the public health and the doctors on how to get people tested at, let's say, the hotels or the rest, or some place, some venue to be able to do that. In a more effective way and more a way that you don't clog up the airport, the entrance and the exits of the people at the airport. So it's not moving to that level yet. Whether we go through and do testing at the airport, it's not really it's not catching on.
Okay.
And so hopefully we find another method to do that and to help public health out by having other venues. The vaccinations, for example, now hotels are offering their ballrooms, and people that visited the Hyatt, for example, last week to tour the ballroom to see what's happening. The employees were there looking, and when they saw the people were there, they just, about 70 of them got their vaccinations right then and there because it's there. And so this is what we're trying to do right now to speed up the process. We got to hit that May 1st or April 27th if possible, because that's the beginning of golden month.
Gov, any update on the streamlining of the permitting process? Because, man, it sounds like you got so much to do. I don't even know how you're going to get to the permitting czar thing.
Well, there's a lot that has been coming to me because it's been clogged up. It's been clogged up not necessarily because of inactions or blame anybody in particular, but it's some of the laws are just being read differently from one department to the other. For example, the iLearn, the school, private school, it's been clogged up. We might lose some grants, and the Lieutenant Governor Tenorio right now has injected himself into the process to try to make sure that and when comes April 1st, for example, that we don't lose $12 million of grant at GIDA to start the building of the iLearn private school. And so when my project now is to pull together all the various readings of the laws, the rules, the regulations, and eventually report to the governor that this department is reading it differently, this GLUC is reading it differently, this is the way it should really all come together not only from a reading of the government employees, but the customers out there. And so once we show the governor that this is where the problem might be, and maybe she will issue an executive order saying that this departments and agencies, this is how these things should read. And let's not gunk up the procedures by different readings of different directors of various departments. So it's working, and I've got a lot of help from the people out there in the private sector too, because they're the ones that really know what the hoops are that they're trying to jump through. And so, instead of rediscovering it by reading it, we just listen to the actual experience of businesses. So we're working hard to do something like that, to unplug it, and nobody's to blame. It's just that we're going to have to finally put it all together in one sitting, one reading, and everyone, Daphne Shimizu has been helping a lot with her permitting committee that was set up by Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. So we're marrying the two committees together to come out with one possible solution for the governor to implement.
All right. Well.
I wanted to ask about this whole Gov. I just want to ask because you're a two-term governor, and we had talked with Juan Carlos and Sarah about this whole minority leadership shake-up, and I know you read and watch the news and follow it closely. But what was your 2 cents on that? Having been through so many campaigns and seeing kind of like the posturing that goes on ahead of like a big gubernatorial election. Is that what you kind of saw there with the whole Senator Moylan and the minority in the legislature?
Okay, well, I'll give you my partisan reading. My partisan reading is this. They're not going to beat Lou and Josh in the next election. So they're fighting in there to who's going to be the leader in the legislature for the next 4 years or 5 years or 6 years. I think that's where it is. I don't think anybody's really fighting for juxtaposition of the running for governor, because they know that what we have seen happen over the last year, we had some adversities, but now we've realized that we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, that the decisions made by this governor was correct, and that once we start recovering, there's just no way. There's just no way that people will not give the governor and lieutenant governor their second term. And they know that, so they want to see who's going to lead the legislature for the next decade.
Okay, well, I guess you're calling it right now that Governor Lou and John are unbeatable.
So your next question, you're not running for Adelup as governor or lieutenant governor on any given ticket?
No, I'm supporting Lou and Josh because they've given me also an opportunity to be able to assist in this administration. And I hope I can still live on for their second term, so I can also help. I just can't sit still, and I have my own my personality is that a lot of people reach out to me, and I've never not respond, and so I don't want to ever be a recluse and sit home over the next 20 years, the rest of my life. I want to still be with the people.
Well, there you go. Like you said, you get results, so.
Thank you. So, okay, I got to run to the airport.
That's that. Right. Don't run, drive.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Gov.
Thanks, Gov.
8:37, quick break. We're coming back with John Benavente of the Guam Power Authority as they have made a determination that they're going to begin disconnections June 1st. More info is coming up here on the link. Good morning. Join KUAM and...
When we throw things away, where is away?